So what if I don't have one term multiplied by the two terms? What if I have two terms multiplied by two terms? Sure. X by x. You have to actually multiply the 2x by both the terms, the x and the minus 3. And then multiply the 4 by both the x and the minus 3. Yes. So this is a binomial. It's called a binomial because it's two terms. Bi means two. So it's a binomial multiplied by another binomial. Okay? So we call the process FOIL. And the reason why we call it FOIL is because you're going to multiply first, okay? So your first term by your first term, okay? So you're going to multiply this by this, which is going to be 2x squared. Then you're going to multiply your outer terms. So your outer terms of the two brackets, they're going to be the 2x and the negative 3. So it's going to be negative 6x. Then you're going to multiply your inner terms. So your inside terms, which is going to be plus 4x. And then you're going to multiply your last terms. So it's going to be the last two terms in the bracket, which is going to be negative 12. Okay? So first, outer, inner, last, that's what FOIL stands for. Okay? And as you can see, if you look at the first term, which is the 2x, there's two arrows coming out of it. One toward the first term, one towards the second term in the second bracket. And then if you look at the second term, which is 4, again, two arrows are coming out of it. Okay? To multiply each one, the terms in the second bracket. Now, if you look at the answer, so you have 4 terms. Is there any like terms that you can add? What are your like terms? That's right. So you have negative 6x and 4x. So these are like terms. I can add them together. So I have 2x squared minus 2x minus 12, right? Because what I did is I collected the two like terms together by adding my, my coefficient. So you see how negative 6x plus 4x are like terms because they have the same letter with the same exponent, right? So I take the negative 6x and I add 4x to it. That gives me negative 2x. And the rest, they stay the same. Okay? Are you okay with this? So let's do another one together. Okay, so let's do B. So I'm going to write it up here. Actually, no, we have the one here. We have another example, sorry. Okay, so what do I do? Okay, so I put an arrow between the 7x and the x, and what do I get? 7x squared, because you're multiplying x by x. You guys have to be very careful, otherwise you're going to ruin your whole question. Okay? Then, again, 7x times the 5. So that's going to be 35x. So that's a plus 35x. Then you're going to have to do the negative 3 times the x. Right? So it's going to be negative 3x. And then you have to do the negative 3 times the 5, which is negative 15. Are we okay with this? Okay. Then if I add and collect like terms, so what are my like terms? 35x and then minus 3x. So I'm going to leave the 7x squared as is. If I collect these two terms, what do I get? 32x, right? Because you have 35, you ate 3. You took away 3. And then minus 15. So same thing is going to happen. Let's say if you have this, how can I write this in a way where I can do FOIL? What does it mean when you have square? You double it. So instead of writing it like this, you're going to write it like this. And then you're going to FOIL. Okay? So anytime you have the square, you can write it twice. Okay? Another thing that I want to mention is when you have something like this right here, like this one, you're going to do your FOIL. Okay? So you're going to do the first, outer, inner, last, and then simplify, and then multiply by the negative 2. Let's do this question together. So I have negative 2 times y minus 3 times 5y minus 6. Okay? So first thing you're going to do, you're going to multiply. You're going to do the FOIL. So first, you're going to leave the negative 2 outside. Open your bracket. And then let's do the multiplication. Y times 5y is 5y squared. Okay? Then y times negative 6. Negative 6y. Then I have the negative 3 times the 5y. And then the negative 3 times the negative 6. Okay? Then I'm going to collect like terms. So that's going to be negative 2 still here outside. It's going to be 5y squared minus 21y plus 18. Yeah? Now, after I finish all of this, right, now I have to distribute. So there's one more thing to do. Yeah?
Did we collect like terms, the negative 6 and 15?
Yes. So the negative 6 and the negative 15, they add together to negative 21. Okay? And then there's one more step you have to do. You have to multiply that negative 2 in to negative 10y squared plus 42y minus 36. Okay? So again, we're going back to the tacos example, to the everything by the negative 2. That's right. Okay? So I have to do FOIL first and simplify inside my bracket, then I distribute. Are we okay with that? Okay. So you guys can get started on your key questions.